Hi, I'm Xiaoxi, and I'm a Year 3 student from School of Education in the University of Sheffield.
Okay, and there has a very popular TV drama called Sex Education. Have you ever seen it before?
Sure, it was interesting, and that's why I focus on this topic in my dissertation, and it's give me a good idea.
You talk about why did you want to do this topic?
Okay, well, firstly, the development of sex education is a global trend, and UNESCO defined it as a curriculum based process of teaching and learning about cognitive, physical, and social aspects of sex, gender, and sexuality. It is a broad but very important area. So now it's time to help and guide children learn to become aware of their gender characteristics and gender identity. But now the practice of sex education in China is facing many challenges for many years. The education department tried to make policies. They just tried to do it, but many factors prevent its success. For example, the traditional conservative culture and ethics of China, or they feel shame and difficulty talking about
Yeah.
sex. Like so, uh, this affect parents to give such education to their children, and they also worry about that will deprive their children original innocence. So many Chinese parents have such concerns on sex education in primary school. So, but primary school is already a very appropriate stage to give children for sex education. So that's why I focus on sex education in primary school and the parents' attitudes in China.
Sex education is has always been a controversial problem. So do you think the sex education is very important for young children?
Sure, very important. Like children need to know their body and boundaries, like bad touch and good touch. And because children have the cognitive ability to recognize and understand the person, including the knowledge of the body, sex differences, pregnancy, and birth. So this will help them to respect others and protect themselves and understand male and female's roles in society. And also for the upper years of students, this curriculum is to prepare children for their physical growth or change during puberty. Yeah, and also everyone is supposed to know the HIV or AIDS. Like they need to understand how HIV is transmitted and the prevention measures, and as well as treat people with HIV or AIDS without discrimination. So they are expected to learn about the correct attitudes and values towards sex and prepared for a healthy life in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the prevention of child sexual abuse is a part of this curriculum. It requires children to apply what they learn about and the self-protective behaviors in the classroom to real life. So, sex education will guide children on coping strategies and protect themselves if abuse occurs.
Yeah, good. So can you tell us the participant in your research and your research findings?
Sure, it was interesting, although it was just a small scale study. The findings are useful. And my participants are from one Chinese primary school from Shandong province. Yeah, but first it was great to see the most of the participants supported their children to receive a comprehensive sex education in primary school because most of parents are experiencing challenges from conservative cultures or they feeling ashamed or difficulty talk about sex or they don't know how to teach their children about sex information. So they expect their children to receive such education in school. At the same time, they expressed their concerns on this curriculum. Like they hope schools can cooperate with parents and maintain communication. Like parents need to know the teaching context or learning outcomes or teaching approaches. For example, most of them suggested that the teachers should use a relaxed or game-based class to do this. And of course, some parents of lower grades do not agree with the use of intuitive illustrations to show some sex-related pictures in textbooks. But parents of higher grades are more acceptable for this. And there are also a few parents who think teachers should avoid using sensitive words in class. But almost all parents expect their children to have a safe and appreciate sex education at school. Therefore, the education department in China need to develop a comprehensive sex education as soon as possible and strengthen the links between families and families and schools in the future.
So, what's your opinion about our current sex education situation in China?
Well, sex education in China still needs to be improved, and it should be implemented in teaching practice rather than just policies. Like we can't guarantee that every parent has sufficient knowledge to teach their children about sex information. I think it may depend on the educational background of parents and their personal values. So sex education in school is the best way and best place for children to learn about sex. But we know that China now has knowledge professional sex education teachers, national standard textbooks, materials, and communication with parents on the subject. Like we need to know both teachers and parents should teach children what sex is in the right way, and this is about everyone living in a healthy life, not being ashamed. So schools and parents need to establish communication, and they need to focus on the sex education for children together, not just focus on their academic achievements. So the social process in China has become less conservative. So education authorities need to gradually improve sex education in primary school.
So, in your opinion, what do parents need to do to provide a high quality sex education for their children?
My first suggestion is that while schools provide sex education courses for students, they also need to do some proper training or lectures for parents. Like my study showed that most parents have a positive attitudes towards sex education. In dedicating that, their conservative cultures is becoming more open and inclusive. So training or lectures can help parents gain a better understanding of sex education and remove bias so that they can guide their children with confidence. And secondly, keep in touch with schools and teachers about children's mental health and their sexual issues or thoughts. And also parents are advised to learn how to teach their children sex education through some official and authoritative institutions and websites. So this ways I think will help parents to give high quality sex education for children.
This is a very interesting topic, and thank you for joining today's interview.
Thank you.